All right, thank you for watching here on all the places in which I will end up putting this video. Okay, appreciate each and every one of you that come into my videos, lives, whatever it is that I do with positive vibes and, just good vibrations, pure intentions. I just want y'all to know I appreciate you. Okay. I am a survivor of narcissistic abuse, as is my son, but we're more than that. Okay. And I'm saying that only because we are identifying with more than that. I lead with that just so people can understand the story, the journey, the information in which I share. Okay. And so one of the life lessons that the survivors, myself and other empathic types, learn as they move more and more into their healing, into the alchemy, into boundaries, and all the things which were never there for the survivor to begin with. One of the things you'll start to reflect on and appreciate later in life is this tendency. You may have a high drive for justice. Okay, so you might have been that one person that, may say something and stand up to someone within a group or a family, whether it was your mother, your father, whomever, as where the others possibly wouldn't. They would just sit back and not say anything, pretend like they don't say it, or just say something to one another under each other's breaths, behind the person's back. And you might have been that person that said, hey, I'm going to stand up, I'm going to say it, even if you did it respectfully, but that you're going to kind of mention like, hey, like that ain't right, that ain't fair, or, kind of try to either console the person and or stand up for the person. But the lessons some of you all will have to swallow and figure out is that a lot of what you've done, and you're going to figure this out, is you've stood up for the very ones that they're enablers of the abusers, even the very ones who don't treat them right. Okay. And the reason why we have to stop that, why it's going to serve you get to a place to stop doing that, because again, the enablers are, again, they are under the control, the spell, the manipulation, all of those things, and even someone delusional until they start doing their own work, okay, of the abuser. So though you may have at some point in history, you may have been one that said, hey, you're doing a little bit too much with the whooping her, like you may have been one of them kind of kids. Like just because you came from whatever you came from doesn't mean you was going to sit back and pretend like shit wasn't, toxic. Right. But these are the same people that possibly will talk about you behind your back later in life. Right? Or deny or side with the very abuser, saying things like, yeah, they're just emotional, they're just extra, they're just, all these things, even though they themselves have received, and they could attest to it because you were one of the few, chances are, that were trying to console them when their own people, their own mother, their own siblings, their own whoever it was icing them out on some toxic bitch shit. Okay. Or, if it was the mother, was being overly, it was not disciplined. It was abusive. And you stepped up and said, that was a little unnecessary. But these are the same people that will turn around and play dumb, whether it's, I don't care if it's fear, codependency, under the spell. And again, so the lesson here, okay, this is the part you're going to get to it. It's going to take some time. This is why you got to stop it. Yep. This is why you have to stop it. You have to stop even trying to help the enabler. Because again, they're still going to betray you, because that's a form of betrayal. If they know that you're taking some kind of mistreatment and abuse at the hand of that person, that's betrayal. That's essentially a sacrifice. I know we get stuck on the official sacrificial type of stuff that some of these weirdy bitches and niggas are doing. And there are people who try to sacrifice you and your children, and you learn about that, and you whoop niggas ass all across the sky. Okay, anyway. This is getting good. That's another day. Okay, I'm like, yeah, that was dumb. Dumb bitch, nigga. They should have wrote that in red ink, bold italics, underline, caps, oh, shit. I laugh at that because I'm like, oh, po thanks. But the focus here, though, is to try to, because you feel bad for the enabler. See, the reason why the empath and the scapegoat has this, it's built in them because they know what it's like to be abused. They know what it's like to be mistreated. They know what it's like to be outcasted. They know what it's like for people to pick at them for no reason. They know what it's like, you know what I'm saying, to be surrounded by a bunch of mean, grown ass, dusty bitches and niggas. Okay. They know what it's like to be under that, and that empathy kicks in, and when they see it, it kind of makes their stomach hurt. And so they be like, oh, like there's a compelling, because it's like, this is tacky as fuck. This shit is for the birds, nigga. These motherfuckers. Like, you start getting a whole nother vibe. And you want to step in, and that's such a beautiful trait. But we have to save that for the right people. I think that's what our lesson is. We save that for folks like the differently able community, the people who, if they could, they would, type of situation. Not people who are opting to stay loyal and cowardly energy and willing to throw you under the bus and all of that. We don't continue to try to assist those types of people. Okay, they're not deserving. And they prove it. Okay. And it's not to say you're wishing. So somebody's going to say, well, dang, you have to look at it like this. Okay. The survivors had to survive a whole lot due to the fact of many people not doing anything about stuff. And a part of that is the fact that there's too many people that's willing to continue to lie for and cover up and fluff up and make someone seem, to be, the abusers, to be something that they fucking ain't. Okay. And they're only that limited to those. Again, I shared this on the last live. There was a young lady here that said she is reminded that, there was this person that, I want to say air quote, they changed. They talked about how much they changed and how they were a different person than they used to be, and how they were no longer wooty-woo, and how they were now all of a sudden this miraculously beautiful person, man or woman, seemingly going around now being kind and fair and just and decent and going all out their way to be this way towards all these people except them. And she said that may be all well and grand and dandy, but the fact that they never made amends, or they never atoned for what the monstrous things that they did to them and caused them, is why they feel the way they feel. And again, because it is a slap in the face when there is true reform. I know there's situations where people can't, you can't. The person's dead, or like you can't. But more often than not, people could. It's just the fact that it's going to hurt the ego. It's going to require some humble pie. It's going to also require exposure and a possible lots of loss, which is essentially why they cannot do it. So the reality here is that, so that's still further abuse, because so this person is so-called changed, and they're going around they're all this beautiful energy, but they just got amnesia. Whatever the hell it is, whatever destructive things and heinous things that they did or caused to you, as if they can make it up by being nice to everyone else that they meet from then on. It don't work like that. So for the onlookers, you guys need to understand about the survivors is they've had to deal with a lot of people not even cleaning up the messes that they are still recovering from. So to imply that they should be thinking and feeling any differently, you really need to get educated about things before you talk about it. Because if these people were truly changed, let me tell you what I know. change is change. It's not a conversation. I remember being around before I cut a lot of people off in my distant past. It was always this energy of people kept trying to push up in my face with words of I'm changed, but their behavior continually showed me otherwise, though. I'm changed. I'm not the same. That's saying it and quoting it and putting on the uniform for it and even acting as if that towards other people does not mean that there has been true reform from the inside out as it pertains to even all damage done. When you are really sincerely transforming, you're bothered. I know that from personal. It's not, you can't, it's, you want to the best of the extent in your power, you sit in this energy where you're like, this is not okay. And the reason why you're able to do that is because you're changing, you're healing, you're transforming. So that ascension and that alchemy to all of that gunk is saying within you like, okay, like, no, this is not okay. And me emptying my wallet to every charity under the sun because I stole a lot, it's not going to change anything. Me being someone's secret admirer is not going to change what I did either. That's what people got to get educated about. Okay, understand that it ain't about, and just because you can see somebody in your experience behaving in such a manner, that is your experience. The assumption that because that is your experience with this person, the assumption that it must be the truth of all connections is ignorance. And it's naive. Okay? When you start to study and understand the complexities of human behavior and psychoses and all these manner of different things and experiences, then you learn that, yeah, on the surface level, this looks like it's mathing out because this is sugar pie, sweetie, honey bun. That's always bending over backwards and going above and beyond the call of duty for everybody. So it makes sense for the math to equal that this person is possibly a sweet person and that this other person who's in an emotional uproar is just a little bit nuts. So, but see how surface it is? When we don't know anything about narcissism or psychopathy, when we don't know anything about sociopathic behavior, because they're not teaching you this. We just, let me get out of there. Come out of there, man. Yeah, we don't know anything about none of that. Okay, we don't know nothing about the fact that people can mimic and chameleon and how some people don't even have an identity and personality at all. We don't know about deep-rooted seeds of jealousy and insecurity that fester like cancer in whole bloodlines. And everybody pretend like it ain't there. Get educated. Okay. The reason why the survivors that res with anything that I teach at all, the reason why they're in the vibe, because there's a lot of people at this time that has a lot to say about the collective of survivors that is in a certain vibe, but this is why I'm here to educate said folks. You have no idea. Okay? None. The collective have stood up for people who have betrayed them time and time again. The collective have set up and listened to people over the years bitch and moan about the very ones that betrayed not only the collective, but betrayed them in these time spaces. The collective went all out to assist and help in various ways. The collective is aware that they know they helped a whole lot of people. They know it because they're one of the few who had balls to start talking and saying something. But these are the same people that would run and cower. These are the same people who, all of these things which they know. So they'll run in the hills and cower. They'll go run with another karmic cunt or a nigga or, all this other thing. So now the collective is just simply like, okay, no, the end of enablers, the end of even assisting in the enablers. Because no matter how difficult, awkward, and painful this is something that needs to be had for justice to ever play out. It is scary. It's a lot of things. And the survivor knows because of their own experience, the level of complexity and confusion and the scariness that is connected to all of it. But they also know that the only way out is through. They also know that. They also know that ignorance is not bliss. They also know that at some point this may cost a heavier and heavier weight and penalty than was necessary. They also know that a lot of more innocent casualties will continue to be built up until ready to face the reality of it being what it is. And though they may lose, they understand that losing is winning. It's like cutting out gangrene. That's what it's like. Like, this is not going to feel great, but this needs to happen. Okay? Enablers have to be brought to a dark night very similar than the abuser themselves. They have to be brought to the dark night to realize their abuser will not be able to protect them for their choices. They have to be brought to that. They have to be brought to the dark night to where the empath is not going to help either, because this ping-ponging that a lot of the enablers do is a part of their toxicity. When they are mad at the one that they praise, when they are going through some kind of a fight and tiff, when they're mad, then they want to come talk to you because they know you the real, They know that you're the real and that you're going to tell the truth and that you're not going to be feeding them, some making excuses like everybody else is saying about that person. They know that you are going to go, hey, you need to make your choices. Now you need to do because this is fucked up. Right? And then, you know what I'm saying? And then they know you're going to be kind. All this shit that they're not getting from this motherfucker. Because as soon as they, they piss off this motherfucker, it's all love and flowers, on social media and pictures and, Wait till y'all see them behind the scene when they mad. It's the monsters in the Addams family, but not the cutesy cool way. Right? And, so this tendency to be just cruel to one another, when upset. That's a toxic pattern within a group, isn't it? But we have to reserve that. See, they don't deserve it either. Now you follow me now. They don't deserve it either. Don't y'all feel sorry for these enablers either. Oh, is their season now too? Oops. Don't y'all feel sorry for these enablers. No. Because they want to play both sides of the fence. That's what enablers are to me. They want to play both sides of the fence. They, secretly, I'll say it this way, maybe not outwardly, but secretly they do. So for when they be mad at the one that they praise, or when the one that they praise is mad at them, when they're on the outs, when they're playing the childish nigga bitch game that 3-year-olds do, when they're playing that, we're mad. And so we're ignoring you. And then we're going to go in the other room and act like we're having such a good old time. And we're going to want you to sit there in the other room and hear us in our laughter. And so you can feel sad that we are icing you out like mean girls for our old dusty asses. In some cases, right? In some cases. Then they want the empath. Then they want to remember the empath. Then they want to, pull on the heartstrings of the empath, the impartial empath, the empath that's feel like everybody should be treated with some sensitivity and, nobody should be, what is this nasty? Y'all bitches need to go to down doctor. You need to get the medicine, therapy, lobotomy, all of it, bitch. All of it. Now, but we had to cut that off same way we had to cut off the abuser. People have to get cut off until they do their journey and do it well. See, they got to face them same scary demons and ghosts and goblins and whatever you want to call it until they're ready to accept, acknowledge, and deal. They need to be cut off from you. Okay, because they're portraying you too. They don't care about your well-being. You see it? Sometimes we put these enablers in some kind of a category like no, not really. They're equally selfish. They're just not as, they may not go to the same degrees and extent in which the abusers are abusing, but by way of failure too is where they're toxic. Okay, because they're selfish. It's still just about them. Okay, because if all is well between them and the one they praise, they're throwing you right back under the bus again. They're singing their praises again. They're lying for that motherfucker again. They're acting like you was just extra and sensitive and all that once again. Right? So they're betraying you. They're not honoring of you and your energy, and they're not authentic. The enabler is not authentic either. If they were, they wouldn't be lying and covering up for the person then, dear. Okay. All right. Collective of humans, okay? You all need to understand that as well. The enablers aren't off. They not off. They don't get off. They're part of the problem. Enablers are a part of the abuse cycle problem. Yes, they are. I don't care what their reasons are. The bottom line is they are still a part. They are the ones that are helping to perpetuate the lies, the smear campaigns. They're the stalkers. They're the trolls. Okay? They're the performing monkeys for the abuser in some cases. They're the ones that are doing the dirty work. They're the abuser's minion, their cheerleader, their mascots. Okay? They also are the ones that, whoever the abuser is targeting, they gather together a team to speak foul, speak ill, undermine, all of those things. So when everybody's ready to judge why, the survivor says, I am done. And everyone has a view and opinion like, oh, that's so strict and that is so extreme and harsh. Is it? Is even more harsh of the fact that they have to deal with and live with people that are supposed to care for them, that wants their presence and want to be in their face, but are two-faced it and don't have no goddamn spine. And will sell them out. That is extreme. That's toxic. This entitled mentality that we should be entitled to people's presence and energy, no matter how foul we are, to me is mental illness in itself. That's how I feel. I feel like a lot of us, that's where we get it from. That shit is so deeply ingrained that, and we think it's normal. And since it's that deeply ingrained to us, then it is not mental illness. To us, it's regular. It's the way life is, but it is not. It's not normal. It's not healthy. It's disgusting. Say it out loud. Try to say it out loud in a practical sense. So maybe that'll make it kind of go click. Like, okay, I feel like I should still be able to talk to person so-and-so. I feel like this person and I should be able to still talk to them. They should still be calling me and I should still be able to see them and they should still be my friend or just keep up with me and let me keep up with them. And, if, come to the, banquet and whatever, I feel I should still be able to have that. But I also know that I lie on this person. I hide things from this person. I talk about them when I'm with this other person behind their back in a negative light. I really don't care about their health and well-being at all. I just really care about the fact of being able to have access to them and their energy, which is second to none. I cannot get from the abuser. I can get money. I can get clout. I can get status. I can get a stolen home and vehicle. I can get a job. I can get this and that. I can get that from them. I can get maybe even a babysitter. But what I can't get is this. Sounds ludicrous. When we say it out loud, it's like, okay, so I can see why you would want that, but can you make any kind of rationale sense of why that person should want any likings to do with you at all? Because just because you think that just because it is behind their back, that's the ignorance of most humans right there. Just because you think that it is behind their back, your rationale, that of a child, they don't know, you don't know what they know. And the fact that that is your reasoning should be revealed to you about your condition. So your rationale on this is that they should still want to be with you on the basis of you just a sneaky nigga bitch. That's what you're really saying. If we were to just remove all the extra, what you're really saying is on a premise of you've been able to manage to do all of this behind their back. Doing death rituals or chaos magic, and you've been able to participate stalking and reporting. So you've been able to do all this behind their back. So since you've been able to, that person should be oblivious and just go ahead and slip in line and stay in line and still come have coffee with me and still call me and see if I'm okay. And still talk to me here and there and say happy birthday and happy this and happy why. Self-serving. Just listen to it. The collective, they are finally prioritizing their whole health and well-being inside and out, and that of their children, which includes weeding out fake niggas and bitches. Okay? especially bloodline, and especially people that they have once stood up for, or at the hand of the abusers that they're now trying to go around. This you easily bought and sold, bitch, just like the rest. And that's what it is, nigga. Cause that's what it is, nigga. Cause that's what it is, nigga. Cause that's what it is, nigga. I don't care how. Because let me tell y'all what I know about some of these enablers. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna help you. Just wait for it. What I know about some of the enablers is that if, for whatever reason, let's say the narcotron, if for whatever reason the abuser, let's say all of a sudden, thank you, the abuser lost all power and resources. And I mean all of it. Listen to me, all. This would include, whatever their network connects is, money. This would include spell casting, whatever that is. Let's say the abuser was stripped of all of it. And they couldn't, for one, they couldn't benefit the enabler any further, but also now that all of the power and the resources is being stripped away from the abuser, I bet you the enabler's behavior starts to shift. Do anybody want to put some money on it? So they don't have a car that they can let them borrow or use. They don't have a room they can let them stay in, a house. They don't have no money they can let them borrow. They don't have a credit card. They don't have a connect that can hook them up with something. They can't, you know what I'm saying, babysit. Whatever it is, take it away. Strip it all away. They can't cast spells anymore. Their magic don't work. They can't get a hold of no magic. Take all of it away. Mm-hmm. And that's when you'll find out the truth about the enabler that seemingly seemed to be innocent. They're not as overt or direct in abuse, but turning a blind eye and adding insult to injury to the one that is just as bad. So once again, people in the universe, as you all are having your many discussions that you're not in a position to have, get educated. Understand that the collective has lived and continue to still deal with a lot pertaining to all of these abusers. Okay? And they have no interest in communicating with people that they know full well, again, because it's either you stand up for the truth and what's right, no matter the cost, or you are one to be put in the category of not to be trusted and not deserving. Not to be trusted and not deserving. Because if it's still this energy, I'm going to save my own ass and I'll betray you. And I'll betray you. So you don't deserve the collective's help. You don't deserve their, solace. You don't deserve any of those things until you're ready to face the same shit that they have had to stand in and face, no matter what your cost is, no matter if you don't get a babysitter and you ain't gonna get no money and they not gonna bail you out no more and they ain't finna help you with your car note, or they gonna take, no matter what the cost is. And if that's not what you own, then you're an enemy to the survivor and they will have nothing to do of it. They know that you're likely to be hacked. You're likely to be used and manipulated by this person. So why the hell do they want to talk to you for any reason? Why the hell do they want to go anywhere with you? Why the hell should they trust divulging any serious pertinent information with you? Why the hell? Because of what? Hell, they're in here now being the weirdos that they are. And until enough people, the collective is like, no, enough. People have a problem with the collective because they are speaking about it. Toxic people condition you to believe that the problem isn't the abuse. They convince the abusee and the world that the problem is the truth speaker about it. And that's disgusting. And abusing spirituality and religion and positions and all of this stuff, hiding behind all of those things, is even more disgusting. Listen, we don't get to spiritualize and religify our asses out of our fuck shit. And there's people that's going to have to fucking find this out before this year is over. And for some, maybe it's going to be the very beginning of 2025 that it's going to hit the hardest. Because you don't get to skate around all this stuff and be a heinous hellion on steroids, on wheels in people's lives, willingly and intentionally, and for sport and entertainment and boredom, jealousy and insecurity. And then want to talk about some Jesus and Bible and sage bundles. Save it. Save it. It doesn't work like that. And it's high time some people find that out. These are people who want to skate around accountability. And they still want to continue to be fucked up. And see, that's why some of this is going to get very real here. Because for some of these people, it's not even just a matter of what was done. It's what is. Even as I'm talking to you, it's what is and what they continue to do. So some of these various people are going to have to get schooled that they can quote whatever they want from here to the end of days in this realm on any given platform and in any given group, business, and organization and reality. It's not going to make now, never mind, when it's time. Justice and not in this way, as I mentioned earlier. The collective is looked at as dramatic and extra. But go say this to these same people when this shit hit the fan, as it is as I'm talking to you. You go say this to these same people and you tell them what they say of the collective. You're just being sensitive. You're being dramatic. You're being extra. You're just hormonal. You're just this and that. It's not that deep. It's not that serious. Say that to them. Watch and observe. Say that to them. Watch and observe. Because see, these are the people who like to say that about their targets And a lot of people like to say that about other people when they themselves have not had to experience or don't have to undergo something, but you'll get a whole nother type of a vibe and a conversation out of them. Put them in that seat. I guarantee you, they're going to be calling everybody. They're going to be in an uproar. They're going to be doing all this and that. Exactly. So what happened then? I thought the collective was being extra. People aren't being extra at how they feel and respond to continual, I don't care how covert it is. Tampering with people's lives is an abuse. Okay? Willful, intentional fuckery towards somebody's life for the sole purpose. You got to follow my thought. Okay, on some ego shit, on some I think I'm better than shit, on some mental illness, on some whatever it is, on some I want to hook up, I want the money, I want whatever it is, that's foul. I don't care what level of skill, I don't care. Fucking with people's lives in this manner. And people who have had this over and over and over again, and they've watched their children go through something over and over again unjustly, and over and over again. People just came out to keep their nose on their face and their head in their own shit. You know what I'm saying? Over and over and over. People playing dumb. Oh, I didn't know. Well, what else do you think is going to happen when you're going around the Americas? First and foremost, lying. Let's just call that for what it is. Lying. What did you think it was going to make people see the person in a great light? Shit, nigga. Like, also, you thought this was going to be a positive? Fuck. You didn't know? That it was going to create an issue with a land of people who are already fear-based and scared to lose shit as it is? People with insecurities a mile long? Did you think it was going to make this a more comfortable, conducive, friendly environment? The fuck? No, they didn't. That's why I said it's bullshit. It's cop out. People know full well what the fuck they doing. They just have a problem when they got to pay for it. So stop saying people are extra in drama because they won't lay down and take it. Okay? Let's see somebody come play with your kid and assault your kid and do all sorts of weird nigga bitch energy shit on your kid. And then you stand eye to eye with me and have a conversation, a real one. I might gain respect for you. But until then, you don't need to speak. Okay? At all. Until you have had your life tampered with, time after time, walking away from things, dropping things, because you know you're dealing with a bunch of children and adults' body who just so happen to have a Mercedes. You know what I'm saying? When you realize that, and you've done that over and over again, and people are still doing shit, until you can talk to me and stand eye to eye and toe to toe with me and have lived that, then you have absolutely nothing to say. You have nothing. Okay? And that's the survivors. That is why the survivors are in a badass energy. That's why, baby. Because they've walked away and there's like, oh, these they're like freaking gremlins, bitch. What the fuck? They realize that it's just they've been surrounded and swarmed by people who just don't want them happy. They just don't want them having. But these are the same people who pretend in this world to be all these great types of people that they're not. People want their personality. It's like, that's weird. It's like, so you want to fucking embody me? You on crack, nigga. Cold drugs. All of them, bitch. Like, yo ass. Weird. Just weird. People want to take on their creativity and reverse and dump their mental illness. Laws you, baby. This is why they do what they do. Until people come honorably, you know what I'm saying? Someone else said, some other chick said on here, like somebody was like, oh, they're going to be single forever. You know, if they were so all that, how come? And it's like, there's more ignorance, if ever I've heard it. There's some more ignorance. Some people are single because they won't be a pygmisha now. How about that? It ain't because they ain't got options. It ain't because people ain't buying for them. It ain't because people ain't giving them no attention. It ain't because it's because they'd rather be alone than to settle for some shit, to continue to settle for shit that's not vibing for them, that's not healthy for them, that's actually working against them. And they're not thirsty. So in other words, they're a whole person and they've been working out being a whole person that understands that life as we know it does not just equal down to when you can get a nigga or a bitch. You should be able to find some kind of fucking wholeness and happiness for yourself as a single. And if you can't do it, that's probably why. It's called standards. And it's called not thirsty for attention. It's called I know how to have a good time. I know how to create. That's what that is. Rather than continue to sell myself for something that I end up paying for even greater later. Sometimes the reason why people are single is because of frequency. You have more lower vibrational shit. Let's not play. Let's not act stupid. Let's not act like we don't know that. And I'm not talking about, whether or not people got jobs or careers or stability. You can find that. You can get that. People be on that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Ego so swole, only one of you can fit inside the house. Shit. The change, the reason why there's positive changes for the collective right now, the things that's actually in their energy and that people are trying, they're still like running around like gremlins and hyenas. They're still trying to figure out ways to change that, right? But the reason why they're in this energy is because they doing the work inside and dealing with their own shits and even when it's tough, it's like they're hell bent on transformation. From the inside out, in the most highest vibrational sense possible. They're hell-bent on it, which means they're giving it all the gusto that they can muster up to not stay in any kind of toxic cycles out of the name of comfortability and familiarity. And just to get an edge off. They're willing to lose. And see, that's one of the powers and the superpowers of the collective. That's something that they got working for them. They're willing to lose. See, most people, that ego and perceptions about all that. The collective is like, that's all in a perception, baby, which you consider loss. But see, I'm willing to lose in the name of evolution, in the name of expanding, realizing that I don't have to clench here like this anymore. I don't have to clench. I don't have to. My world doesn't have to end with this one thing. And this one, it's like, no, I can expand. I can create. I can change my mind. Go figure. Who knew that you can change your mind, bitch? God damn it. Yeah, I can change my mind. I'm free to grow and free to make mistakes as long as I'm heading in the right direction and I'm not intentional with being, just careless and all that. It's like that's the growth of the journey. And there are people who stuck and they're crabs in the bucket and they want that for the collective. They don't know how to transform or they don't want to. And they want to be able to feel like they can keep someone else stuck or have some kind of power that these people are paying for this shit, man. The clock is ticking. It's ticking. It's happening. It's happening as I'm speaking. The message of the hour for humans, or it's, I don't know, it's because it's whatever, bitch. The message of the hour. The message of the hour, okay? We're so different from one another, even though we're the same. The message is leave niggas and bitches alone. The message is nose blindness. Look in the mirror. Realize that your poop stink as well, bitch. Okay? I'm gonna need you to know it's poopy and it stinks. Like everybody else. It's poopy and it's stinky like everybody else is. I don't care how fine you are. I'm sorry they got y'all's heads on swole. Sorry. I don't care how fine you is and nigga. And I'm talking about women and men alike, so y'all don't trip. I'm talking about anybody and everybody it applies to. Okay? I don't care how fine you is and how much money and you got this and you got that and no one cares, bitch. Yo, poopy, it stinks like all other poopies. You get morning breath like everybody else, nigga. Shit, you got flaws like everybody else. You got weaknesses. You're covering it up with all of your damn, cigarettes and vehicles and, but you got them, bitch. You got them. I guarantee you. Guarantee it. You got them. Because we all do. See, that's the point. That's the point. And as where we like to put ourselves in these special categories, it's like, well, I'm okay, but are you a decent bitch? I don't care about what you got. I don't care if you had your job for 45 years. Is you a decent bitch? If you're not a decent bitch, then you can have a conversation. Because you fucked up. You fucked up? Are you fucked up? You toxic? You sell out? Oh, we can't talk then. Sorry. I don't care about your 45-year long. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. You lost me. You lost me. You're racist? Sorry. Shut up. Next. I can't hear you. Can't hear nothing from you. You're colorist. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about going to the shop to get your hair turned into another color. You still on that southern bullshit from the slavery days? Still on that shit? You're still on that shit? You think the coloreds, huh? You think the chocolates are supposed to be treated less than? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry they fucked your head up royally with that. I really am. Mm-hmm. Or that white privilege and all that kind of shit. So still walking around with the nose up wrongly. But you's a drunk. See, nobody wants to get that raw. Everybody gets sensitive all of a sudden. But they don't have no problem disrespecting you. Change is here and change is now.